Good morning and welcome back to today's morning mobility for seniors. This class is designed for seniors, but open to anyone who wants to gently move their body, get ready for your day, or even to start a workout. We're going to go through 3 circuits, 2 times each for full body mobility. So we'll go ahead and get started with our first movement. And this one is going to be leg swings. All that you need for this is something to hold on to. It could be a wall or the back of a chair, piece of furniture, or even holding on to a broomstick. Just have your hand on your hip and then take your outside leg and start to swing it forward and backward. We're really letting a little bit of the momentum carry us in this exercise. Often in our other mobility exercises, we'll move more slow and controlled, but this is one that you can embrace the swing a little bit. And now switch around and we'll get the other side. Raising the leg and letting it swing forward and backward. Try to make sure your torso isn't moving forward and backward. All the movement is at that hip and leg. One more for this side. And then we're also going to do side to side leg swings. So face whatever you were using for balance, then bring your leg out to the side and in front of your body, swinging it. Again, letting that momentum carry you a little bit. We're not lifting out to the side, we're just stopping at the end of that natural swing. And switch. Noticing the differences side to side, but not worrying about them. Last one. And rest. Very good. All right, second one is going to be for shoulder mobility. You're just going to stand with your feet an inch or two apart, palms facing forward, and then you're going to pull back the arms with that movement coming from the shoulders. Then bring them forward. Raise your arms up to a T and back to the low V. Pull the arms back by squeezing the shoulder blades. Move the arms back forward. Raise to a T and back down. Pulling the shoulder blades, noticing that squeeze coming from the shoulders. Arms come forward. Raise to a T, back to low V. Pull back almost like you're pushing through water or honey. Arms forward and back. We'll do one more. Squeezing, holding just a second. Arms come forward and rest. Very good. And then our last one is going to be for the hips. We're going to take a warrior type of position. So I'm standing with my feet a little wider than shoulder width. And then I'm going to take one foot and turn it out to the side. How far you turn that foot depends on you. If it's at a slight angle, that's okay. Or turn and point it forward if you can. And then standing up tall, hands on hips, we're going to bend into that knee slightly and stand back up. If you feel like you can wiggle your toes away from you further, do that. And then sink down again, back up. Now, within reason, you can keep kind of inching your toes outward, especially if you started with a pretty narrow stance, but don't get yourself too far extended that you can't easily step back together. We're just lowering out to the side as far as is comfortable, but not too low, and back up. Should feel a little stretch in the adductor on that other side. Also a great hip opening for this side. We'll do one more and then switch. Very good. Turn this foot in, other foot out. Get your balance, hands on hips. Knee moves laterally and back up. Stay nice and tall with your posture. Try to make sure you're not bending too much at the hips and keeping mine straight versus going into a bit of a hinge. That's what helps us really work the hip flexors in front of the hip. Nice and tall. Lowering to the side. Back up. 2 more for this side. Sinking and raising. Last one, and rest. Very good. All right, carefully work your way back together. We'll take a moment and then we'll go back through this circuit one more round, starting with the leg swings. So just make your way back to standing, holding on to something. And then with that outside leg, when you're ready, swinging it forward and backward. Really keeping that upright torso position. We're doing about 8 swings on each side if you're going at your own pace. And rest, very good. Turn, face that other side, make sure to take a breath and get the other leg. Noticing if maybe you can get a little bit more range of motion second round through. And rest, very good. Then turn and face whatever you're using to balance for our side to side swings. Again, not lifting too much to the side, but just a natural swing. And then switch sides. Two more. And rest, very good. Alrighty, then we're going back to that low V pull for our shoulder mobility. Palms facing forward, and then squeeze the shoulder blades and arms back. Hands come forward, raise to a T and back down, pulling back up to a T. Make sure when you pull back that you're listening to what feels comfortably uncomfortable, pulling the arms back. We don't want to go beyond what the body is ready for. Just like with the stretch, we don't want to overstretch, so give the body time to increase its mobility. Just going as far as you feel is comfortably uncomfortable each day. T, back to low V, last one, squeeze. Arms come forward and down, very good. All right, and then our last one, back to those kind of warrior pulses, taking that wide stance, as wide as you feel confident in. Turn one foot to face out to the side, and then stand tall, hips locked out to start, and then bend this knee, sinking maybe a little bit lower than the first time, but don't push it. Just a nice small movement, getting a little bit of stretch in the hips, sinking down, sink down, and back up. Very nice. Sinking down, back up. And make sure to breathe on this one, down. And one more time, lowering and back up. Very good. Alrighty. Then we're going into our second circuit, which will be down on the floor. So make your way onto a comfortable surface. If you're on a hard floor with a yoga mat, you may want to double up the mat for a little bit of extra cushion, or you could put a pillow underneath your knees. But then get into a hands and knees position and make sure that your back is flat to start. Then from here, we're going to do some cat-cows, where we round the back, tuck the chin, tuck the hips, and then we squeeze the shoulder blades together, look up, alternating between those two positions, rounding and arching. Maybe inhaling as you round and exhaling as you do the cow. Rounding for cat, arching for cow. Doing as much range of motion in the neck as is comfortable for your body. And last one, rounding and arching. Very good. All right, good news for second exercise. Don't have to go too far. We're going to move your knees towards the edges of your mat, or just move them a couple inches wider, and then move your hands forward an inch or two. This will just make them have a little bit of less pressure. And then you're gonna sink your hips back towards your heels, again, as far as is comfortable. It may not be quite as far as I'm moving my hips back, but just do whatever feels okay for your body. Moving forward, also a little bit of wrist mobility here, going from that unloaded to the loaded extension of the wrists. Nice when we can do multiple things at the same time. Sinking back and forward one more. Always nice to multitask. And rest, very good. Alrighty, and then for our third one, you can lay down on your back, finding a nice comfortable position for your head with your knees bent and feet are just a little bit wider than hip width apart. Make sure to start, you think about pushing your lower back down into the ground. That's going to protect it and engage your core as we do a glute bridge with a slow lowering. So we're going to bridge up and then take 2 to 3 seconds lowering back down. So we're really controlling that movement. Bridging up into hip extension and lowering back down slow. Might also feel a little bit like work for the glutes. You're welcome. Always a good one. Lifting up, make sure to maintain that tension in your core. Lowering down slow. 2 more of these. Bridging up and lowering down. Last one, up strong and lower down slow. Very good. Alrighty, then we'll repeat this circuit for one more time. So we'll give you a moment to flip back into position for our cat-cow. If your wrists are feeling at all a little bit tired, you could always fold up a towel and put it underneath a little bit of your palm as a bit of a wedge that tends to relieve some pressure. Or you could hold on to dumbbells for a more neutral wrist, or also have your hands be a fist. Well, when you're ready, find that position, start with a flat back, then from there, round as you tuck the chin and the hips, and then lift the head up as you arch and tilt. Rounding, just breathing through your movement, taking your time, going at your own comfortable, slow pace. Cat and cow. We'll do 2 more. Tuck the chin, get that extra bit of neck mobility where you can. And last one, tuck and lift. Very good. Alrighty, then going back into that child's pose rocking, moving the knees back wide, hands move a little bit forward, and it's okay if your toes move towards each other. They could also stay wide if you prefer. And then sink the hips back as far as the knees allow. And if your knees didn't like to be wide in this, you could narrow the position too. Sinking back and forward. Taking your time with it, not too fast of a movement. That's what the leg swings were for, our one for the day where we don't focus on slow control. Good, we'll do 2 more times. Very good, 1 more time. And rest. Alrighty, and then make your way back onto your back for our last glute bridge with the slow eccentric or lowering. Find a comfortable position for your head. Have your feet just a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Make sure your knees don't cave inward, but they stay in line with your feet. and then press your lower back into the mat before you lift. Then bridge and lower down slow. Exhaling as you lift. And breathing in as you lower back down. Exhale. 2 to 3 seconds for the lowering. Making us really control the movement, getting a little more time in that bridge. Lift, slow lower, and just one more, lifting up, lowering down. Rest, very good. All right, and then we're back up to standing for our last circuit. So just make your way back up. We'll give you a second to get there. And our first one is going to start with a little bit of ankle mobility. Always a good one to make sure we don't forget about. So you'll want something to hold on to again for this. And then we're going to start balancing on one leg, but also using that wall for support. Have your foot out a little bit in front of you. And then just move your ankle in a circle. Often thinking about tracing a circle with that big toe can really help. Really going controlled for this movement. A lot of people want to speed through it. Now reverse. Noticing any kind of sticking points or areas that are a little bit harder, and just try to work through it as smoothly as you can. And rest. Good. Then other side. Pick your direction and make those circles. One more, and now reverse directions. Usually there's one way that's a little bit harder, even coordination-wise, so just stick with it and know that the more that you do these, the better you'll get. And it's always good to improve that coordination, especially on your non-dominant side. Last one. Rest. Good. All right, and then our second one is going to be a arms up, sideways swaying. So have your arms up overhead as much as you can. If yours need to be in front of you a little bit or your elbows need to be soft, that's okay, but I'm going to have mine mostly straight up. And then I'm going to think about reaching and swaying a little bit to the side. And then other side, reaching and swaying a little to the side. Keeping some space between my fingertips, thinking about lengthening from the rib cage, creating space there, like we're making a little C with our body. Don't have to think too much about shifting the hips over to the side, but really that reaching coming from the upper part of the torso. Last one. And rest. Very good. All right, and our last one is going to be a squat variation. It's not quite a sumo squat, but we are going for a little bit of hip mobility. I'm going to stay with my feet about shoulder width apart, and then have my hands just pointing towards the ground. And then I'm going to make sure my knees stay outside of my hands as I lower straight down and raise straight back up. This one is really good at helping teach our knees not to cave inwards, but to stay aligned with our big toe and second toe as we lower down and come back up. Torso stays tall. It's almost like the ceiling is shrinking down on you, but we're staying upright, not hinging over. Back up. One more time, lowering down and standing back up. Very good. Alrighty, we've got one more round of these to go and then you're done. Starting with that ankle mobility. So hold on for balance, choose whichever foot you want to start with, and then start making those ankle circles. Starting whichever direction you want, really smoothing out that circle. One more, and then switch direction. One more. And rest. Give yourself a second. Take a breath, switch sides, and then start those circles on the other side. If you're like me, you probably always start on your dominant leg, the little easier side, little bit easier side. It's always good to even it out and make the sides work independently so you can assess the differences. Now other direction. Knowing that it's totally normal to have unexpected places where there's a little bit of different side to side, but then you can work on evening that out over time. Last one, rest, very good. All right, then go into our second one, that arms up sideways sway. Take a big breath. Feet are just an inch or two apart, and then I'm reaching up as I move the arms over, back through center, and other side. And if you've done other classes, sometimes we do shift our hips in positions like this, but today we're really focusing on that movement coming from all upper torso, but we're still thinking about staying tall and long as we reach the other side. Nice, tall torso position, not bending forward, just laterally if you can help it. One more for each side. And then rest. Very good. All right, last one of the day coming up with our squats. Finding that shoulder width position for the legs. Arms are just hanging straight down from the shoulders. Stay nice and tall with your torso as you sink down and come back up. Lowering down, exhaling back up. Good. Hopefully over time, if your knees have had that tendency to have a little bit of caving in, you can train them to where it feels like a new normal because your glutes and your quads and your hamstrings have gotten stronger. It's a nice way that strength and mobility can overlap. Back up, 2 more times, lower down, and back up. Last one, lower down, and up. Very good. Alrighty, well, thanks for joining me today. I hope that you feel warmed up and ready to face your day. We are off next week, so we'll see you in 2 weeks for our next mobility session. And in the meantime, if you want to support these videos or get more information, make sure to check us out over on @HelloStrengthSeniors on Instagram. We'll see you next time.